Hello everyone, Christina La Crafty here to share with you a work in progress that I have going on for a junk journal. I have a bunch of stuff gathered to try and incorporate into a junk journal that I'm working on, as well as have a bunch of beautiful digitals printed out as well. So I wanted to share my work in progress with you guys and see what I've got going on. So I recently showed you guys how I love to use these bags that I hauled from Michael's, but they sell them in a lot of different places. Um, but yeah, I love to use these whenever I am working on a project so I can put everything in there and nothing's gonna fall out and it's durable enough. So I've got a ton of stuff going on. So first I'll go over some of the books that well, no, I'll do that in a little bit, some embellishments. So first I wanted to show you guys, I actually printed this was a freebie that I got as a, it's, I think it was like as one of the members for the subscription of Pink Monarch Prints. It's one of my favorite digital creators. I think this is called the Curious Botanical Card. So this was, I think, last month for February. It was a freebie for the premium subscribers. Super beautiful, these botanical cards. I absolutely love them. And what happened was I have a new printer and I was still trying to find my way around with it. And I generally, with my other printer, my older printer, I would print everything on a premium presentation paper setting and it would come out like amazing. Well, then with this new printer, if you do use that same setting, everything, like, this is the exact same thing but printed with two different settings, same paper. And so this one, I printed it as a premium presentation matte paper, and it just gives us this like gray hue, which, if your project is calling for that, that's fine. But the what I was looking for was something more true to what it looks like on the screen, and this is more of like what a better representation of the color hues that were in the digital on the screen. So I thought I was printing this. So when I got this printout of the basically the exact same thing, but they obviously came out like really dark. I was like, what is going on? And a lot of my other digitals are coming out that way too. So I kind of experimented with some other papers and I printed something just as a regular copy paper. I did not change the settings to make it a presentation and more defined. And when I tried that, even though I still printed it on the same cardstock, that premium presentation cardstock, it just changed the colors. I don't know why. Like, I have no idea why. But so now with my new printer, and I have an Epson 4850 Eco Tank, I have to print everything as plain paper. Even if I print on thicker cardstock, I have to just go and like change the thickness of the paper. But other than that, I have to print it so it's never going to come out like this. You can obviously tell the detail is a lot better here, but it is darker. And here, the detail is not as clear. I guess but the colors are nicer here, or not nicer, but more true to like what it looks like on the screen. So yeah, so I ended up printing this. It was a little bit of an epic fail for me because it wasn't the colors I was looking for. So I reprinted it under a different setting, and this is what I got. And a lot of like these beautiful burgundy colored ones, like, and pinks, are gonna go in this. I'm gonna cut them out and they're gonna go in this project that I'm working on that I'm about to show you. Then I have here a bunch of goodies. So the first thing that I have here is I have a napkin, a paper napkin that I purchased. I don't remember if I did a video on this particular napkin or not, but this is one that I pulled out and I will be trying to incorporate that. I also have these like Tim Holtz cello sticker tape. I finally got these in recently. I've been trying to get these since last year and I never could snag them. So I finally did. But because I didn't know that these were going to come in when they did, um, I actually already had plans to do something. So the other thing that I did was I purchased some tracing paper from Michaels, just the Michaels Kids brand of tracing paper. It's just in the regular craft aisle, not in the like the super artsy section. And since the paper pad was 9 by 12, I cut it down to 8.5 by 11 so I could put it in my printer and print. But these little offcuts that I have here, I'm actually going to ink them with ink, and I can kind of like rip them and make them look a little more jagged. So I'm kind of, when I make this journal, I'm probably going to use some of these, but I'm also going to use, I'm going to make my own wannabe cello papers using some tracing paper, but I'm going to ink these and try to make them look vintage like that. So I just want to show you guys that. So these are some ones that I have set aside. And since these are brown, some of these are going to be antique, but I'm also, a couple of these, I'm going to ink them like a dark pink or something like that so that they can also match with the color palette that I have going on in this journal. So I'm going to put this here to the side. And then I also pulled out from my stash these like vintage, I think I may have gotten these on Temu a while back, or maybe on Amazon, who knows. I've had these in my stash for a while. So these are some like labels, and they are stickers, so they're shiny on the back, but they're kind of like a vellum consistency, like texture. So let me see. But anyway, yeah, these are, I was trying to pull one apart to so I can show you. But these are always good for layering, and that's what I plan to use these for in this album. I mean, in this junk journal book that I'm making. So yeah, as you can see, that's what they're like. So, and they're pretty sticky. I mean, I'm gonna use extra glue anyway, but they feel really sticky. So yeah, so that's what these are. And I thought, you know, this vintage color might go good. If it's too dark, then I may not use them, but I think they'll be fine for layering. So I've got those embellishments going. Obviously, I've only like preliminarily put together some stuff for this project, but I still have to go through my ribbons, my flowers, my embellishments, and you know, and my fabric, and pick out the fabric for the cover. And I still have a lot of work to do, but at least I have a lot of stuff going for the guts of the book. Okay. So this is some tissue paper that actually came out of a box that I just opened up, a haul like last month from Frank Garcia. So I saved this in case I need to add little, glue some tissue paper down to texturize some pages. This I got a while back from Hobby Lobby, but I don't know if this paper is going to match this project, but I had taken it out. It's also tissue paper, but I'd taken it out just in case. But now that I look at it and compare it with everything that I have, it may not work. All right, I've also got, I told you guys in other videos that I always save the packing that comes in my packages because I like to turn them into like scrapbooking projects or crafting projects. So I've cut all of these pages into 8.5 by 11, and I've scored them in the middle. They're not like perfect, like they're not all exactly the same size, but that's okay. So I'm going to try and incorporate some of these. But on here, I can actually, you know, glue stuff on here and, you know, and just like use it. I can either use it as is, but I can decorate the pages or, you know, just use them in conjunction. I think it would be a little rough to write on this, but you can write on this paper. So I just wanted to add, I also have some coffee and tea dyed paper that I haven't pulled out of my craft closet, but that is something that I will be incorporating into this album. Into this junk journal, but I completely forgot to go get them out, but I will. These are just some scraps of that paper, whatever was left over after I cut it to the size that I needed. I figured I would save these in case I need it for collaging. And then I have my decal ruler, my decal edge ruler, that I'm going to use. For those that may not know what this is for, I just keep it in the plastic because I don't want it to get scratched. But basically what you do is, it's got two different sides. So one is a little more jagged than the other. So I plan on some of the edges, I plan to use it to rip some pages. This one's a little bit tough to do. I think you need a little bit more give. But anyway, this will give like a nice like ripped edge look. This paper is not as easy to tear as I thought it would be. So this was not a great example. But yeah. Anyway, that was not a good example. This paper is a little too tough. Maybe if I do it like this. Yeah, I guess. Still not really. Because this actually has a really like deco edge. So we'll see how that turns out. It might. Obviously, this paper was not a good example, but technically you have this strip of paper here and you can make snippets out of these to go on the pages and glue some stuff on there. So we'll see. But anyway, that's why I saved some of those extra tidbits in case I want to play around. I'm going to stick this back in my little plastic here that I keep it in. And this one is a Creative Expressions one, but I know that they sell other brands out there as well. I think We Are Memory Keepers may have had one, and some people like to use a metal one because it might be a little stronger to cut things. And unfortunately, Creative Expressions is going out of business, so it might be hard to find this one now. But I've had that one for a very long time. This is actually a notepad that I recently got, I think at like Home Goods or something. I did a haul video recently for like Home Goods, I think, and I put that in there. I got 2 packs of this for $5.99, so I plan to rip some of these papers out of here, maybe cut them in half, and then score them in the middle and use them as writing spaces in the journal. And oops, I don't know when it got blurry. I'm sorry. Hopefully it wasn't blurry for too long. I was not paying attention here. But anyway, so this, I'm having some issues here with the camera. Hold on one second. Yeah, I think that may have helped it. Yeah, let's get that out of the way there. It did not like that at all. Okay, so I'm going to actually turn these around. I have a bunch of these papers printed here. I don't know if I'm going to use all of these, but I just printed everything that coordinates, and then I'll decide if some of these are going to be used as pages in the book or if I'm going to rip them up for decorating. But we will see. So on some of these, I printed like the backside, actually most of them. I either did it on this paper or there's one that here that has like a grid line. I don't know if you can tell, but there's some grid lines there. This one was one of the background pages from Pink Monarch Prints. I don't remember exactly which collection it is. I'll try to write it. I think I wrote myself some notes, but I don't recall writing it down. Back page. Yeah, no, I can't remember which one this one is, but I know it's Pink Monarch Prints. Then there was another one. There was another background in here that was, I guess I wrote it down, Digital Curio Vintage Blush. So there's some backgrounds in here that are beige, like this. And then there's some backgrounds in here that are actually different colors. I started with these out first, but I didn't, I wasn't too keen on them, so I went for a more palette. So this one and that one and that one, which it's like 2 different sheets, but I alternated them. These backgrounds there are from Digital Curio. It's an Etsy seller, vintage blush, and I resized them to 8.5 by 11. Back pages 3, so I have 3 back pages, and then ink and page. So most of these pattern papers that you're gonna see, most of them came from one of my favorite digital creators on Etsy, and I also like subscribe to her newsletter. It's Ink and Page, and this collection, that most of the collection that I'm using is the Faded Ink collection number 189 through 192, and it was actually a freebie that she sent us in the newsletter for like 4 weeks in a row, and it all coordinated. And there's actually instructions on how to make like little folios and things. So she actually, not only did she release the freebie, but then she also has a video showing you how to put together like folios and projects. But I'm probably not going to follow those folios and projects. I think I'm just going to incorporate them into my junk journal as I need to. And then the other one is a freebie newsletter, burgundy red paper. So there was something else that I got as a freebie in a newsletter that I use. Okay, no, that is the freebie. And then burgundy red papers. Some of the other papers that are also in here are part of Ink and Page's collection that she released on her Etsy, and I purchased it, and it's called Burgundy Red Papers. And then the backside of these papers that are like this, that are beige, and they just have, you can't tell in the camera, but they have a little bit of speckling on them. That one is actually an Etsy seller called Louis Vanilli, and I got that beige paper from his vintage red papers collection that I purchased. So let's get into these and see if I can figure all this out. So some of these really cool ones that I want to show you here. So this is the, at first I started labeling them as I was printing them. So this is the week 191 faded ink folio. So I'll just like go through. So this weekend I have a craft date with my girlfriend. So it was supposed to be last weekend, but one of my friends was sick. So we postponed it until this coming weekend. And so this weekend, my first step, now that I've printed a ton of stuff out, more than I will probably need for this one junk journal, I am then this weekend going to be fussy cutting all of these elements and inking them so that I have them ready, and also inking my pages. I guess this was like part of a project, but I don't think I'm going to use it for that. For the project that she released it with. Yeah, this like creates some kind of like drawer folio, and I'm not going to use that, but I am going to use all these elements in here for my journal because they all coordinate. So they're just like really pretty things. Sorry, didn't realize I didn't have them all like the right the right way. And so I think you cut these out and then you fold them in the middle, you score them, and I think they create little booklets. So I probably should print something on the backside so that it won't be blank, but I figured I can use like inking, stamping, or maybe glue some book pages or something on the inside. So I'm just going to leave that up to my imagination for later. Same with these here. And I also didn't know if maybe I wanted to cut them down the middle because there are a lot of the pages in here that kind of match these. So maybe I want to use them in a different way. So that's why I just left these like this, and I'll figure it out as I go along. And I did print these on several different papers. Like these here are like cardstock material. I use like 2 different cardstocks. Then the pages themselves, I first started out with some like 24-pound copy paper. Then I ended up getting some 32-pound Hammermill copy paper in the mail. And so then I ended up printing the rest of my digitals with that. I've also used some tracing paper to print. So it really just depends. And so because of that, sometimes the colors are a little bit different. So yeah, so this one is for printed use only. Ink and Page, thank you for choosing. All right. So this one I printed on the 32-pound copy paper because I figured this is going to be a little folio, and I'm probably little file folder, and I'm probably going to want it to fold well. But I left the inside that way in case I want to decorate it some other way. So yeah, so these are all the elements. So I have a lot of work cut out for me to cut all these up this weekend when I'm crafting with my girlfriends. I figured do something easy like that, because if I have to do something too complicated, then I really can't pay attention to like our hangout. You know, like I can't really like multitask like that. Like I really get into it. So I figured, you know, the fussy cutting is something that I can do and then also hang out with my girlfriends at the same time. It's something I can multitask with. So yeah, this is so pretty. So as you can see, like I think this is like one of the folio ones. So these are all the beautiful elements. So yeah, if you Um, and then Ink and Page, when she, if you're not a part of her newsletter, she will, after a while, she will put these free digitals into her Etsy shop in the event that you do want to get them at a later date. And then now we're going to get to the papers. So this was, I think, like the first set that I printed out, because I printed it out as a PDF, and I noticed that I had like a white border around it and I couldn't get rid of it. So I did not print them as JPEGs. JPEGs allow me to go to the edge of the page, but I didn't find that out till after I printed these out. But I figured with these here, I can like rip the edges up if I want, if I don't want the white edges. Or I can actually cut these, which is something I'll decide over the weekend if that's what I want to do. And then on the back side, like I said, this one is a digital curio, but this paper here is one of the faded ink, one of the weeks that was the faded ink collection. So these are some fleur-de-lis that are a little upside down, and this back side is also a digital curio printed item. And then this is the faded ink digital curio. Faded ink, isn't that so pretty? And this digital curio. And this is part of faded ink or the burgundy. I think I may have started on the burgundy papers. No, I don't know. I lost track. I probably should have written it down better, but I figure I'm going to mix it all, so who cares? All right, so then these, I did print the beige on the back because I wasn't too keen on these, like on this on the back side. They were like too dark, so I got away from that and I discovered this beige color that I like a lot better because it's like better for writing and for decorating. So this is a beautiful print, and I actually printed this on tissue paper as well. I gotta show, not tissue, tracing paper. I gotta show you how beautiful that is. So this is what it looks like printed on copy paper, and this is what it's printed on tracing paper. See, and it has like a little bit of like transparency to it. I don't know if you can see my hand or not, but you can definitely see the white on the back. Isn't that so pretty? So this can be folded in half like this and used as one of the pages in your journal. But I also printed 2 sets of these because I wanted to follow a tutorial from a YouTube channel. Her name is Ruby and Pearl, and she has a tutorial on how to make glassine bags out of this tracing paper. And she specifically stated, and I said this in one of my other videos when I did a Michaels haul, that you use the cheaper brand of the Michaels tracing paper from like the kids aisle, because it has a little bit of grit to it and it doesn't have like this silky finish to it. So it lets the paper absorb the ink from the printer. Otherwise, if you get a tracing paper that has like a smooth finish on it, then that makes the ink not penetrate, and then it like smudges everywhere. And then I have these I forgot what they're called. I have these zigzag scissors that I'm going to be using to make the glassine bags. So anyway, so yeah, so that was that one. I printed that. I also printed this on tracing paper as well. Look how pretty that came out. I printed 2 of these as well because I think I'll use one in the book or for decorating, and then the other one I'm going to use it to make a glassine little pocket. So that's what it looks like there. And then the back side of that is plain. And then this was, yeah, faded ink. And so now I've got my tracing paper printouts here. So these, when they come in the booklet, they usually come 9 by 12. So I cut them down to 8.5 by 11 so that they'll fit in my printer. Thankfully, my printer plays nice with this tracing paper and it doesn't get caught in it. Thank God. And it doesn't smudge. Sometimes if the ink is really wet on the paper, like if it's really saturated, like one of these was really saturated. I don't remember which one it was. One of these had a lot of ink on it and it made the paper kind of like curl up. So you kind of like have to do one sheet at a time and watch it come out of your printer, take it off and like lay it flat so that it'll dry faster. So I printed 2 of these on tracing paper. And here's another one on tracing paper. And I think I showed you guys these already. So they're kind of like vellum, but a little bit thinner than that. I love it. This one here. This one may have been the one that was really wet. Not sure. There. And these are all, these ones that I'm showing you right now, these that I just showed you, these are all ink and page digital printers. This one and this one here, these 2 are not ink and page. These 2 are Louis Vanilli, and the back side of this is Louis Vanilli, which I use in a lot, but this is part of the red, like vintage red paper line, but I thought these match really well with these, so I printed these out. So I printed these beautiful roses or flowers in tracing paper, and then I printed these adorable, like, you know, just stringy, viney flowers. First I did one in the tracing paper, and sometimes it does fold a little bit in the printer like that, but you can always just ink that and it'll be fine. And it looks like this one kind of smudged a little bit with black there, so it didn't play nice with my printer that time. And then I printed the same print but in just 32 pound copy paper hammer mill, and then the back side is Louis Vanilli. So those are the 2 exceptions. Most everything else was all like Louis Vanilli. But I just wanted to point that out in case you guys are like, you know, thinking, hey, that wasn't part of her collection. So this one may have been another one that was like really wet when it came out, so I had to hurry up and take it off the printer sheet. But yeah, that's a ink and page. Very beautiful. And I think these look like they may have been part of the burgundy red papers that I was talking about. All right, so now we're gonna get, that's all the tracing paper that I printed. Now we're gonna get to the regular paper. So I'll try to go through these rather quickly. Let's see. So yeah, I'll try to go, like, some of these were the burgundy red collection, and some of these were part of the faded ink freebies that she sent. So I purchased the burgundy and red. And just so you know, like I said again, I did print this beige color on the back so it wouldn't be stark white in my book, in my junk journal book. I think these are all like this. All right. Yeah, these I think were the burgundy red collection. Yeah, it was a really big paper pack of the burgundy red. So I think it was probably about 30 sheets in that collection. This I printed as one of the tracing papers, and so this is what it looks like on regular paper. And this I also had printed also on the tracing paper, and this is what it looks like on regular copy paper. And this one, it looks like it was before I realized that if I wanted it to go all the way to the border, I was going to have to print as a JPEG instead of a PDF, because she does provide PDFs and JPEGs, but I was printing the PDFs and then I realized, oh dang it, it's not printing all the way to the edge. So I realized I'm just going to have to use the JPEG settings, open it up as a JPEG and then print it. Don't you love that one? It's so pretty. Absolutely love it. Yes, yes, yes. So gorgeous. And yeah, I think I printed this as one of the, and I printed that as a tracing paper as well. Yeah, and that one. And so beautiful. So I'm really excited. These papers are so beautiful. So thank you to Ink and Page for the wonderful freebies and for coming out with a collection that complements the burgundy and red, that complements this faded ink collection so well, because I now have a lot of papers to work with. I think I printed this as a tissue paper as well. I mean, tracing paper. I keep calling it tissue paper because it's like the same like consistency, but it is tracing paper. And I have not tried printing on tissue paper. I've seen tutorials, but everyone that I've seen in their tutorials, they actually like tape it to a regular piece of copy paper because tissue paper is incredibly thin. So I don't think I'm ever going to print on tissue paper. I really love the results that I get with this tracing paper. So I don't really recommend having to fuss with that if you don't have the patience. So we're almost nearing the end here of all of the papers that I printed out. I mean, I think I have enough here. Plus with all the other things that I'm going to add for journaling spaces, I think I have a lot of paper here to probably make two journals out of this. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So the other things that I have here to maybe incorporate just to kind of like take with me in case I'm like ready to do some more than just cut out all of my fussy cuts and things like that and ink my pages is this is one of the Reader's Digest books that I keep handy on behind my craft table. These are like pages that I've like taken out of here and I've already cut them down, like cut the edges down. But I have some papers here that some book pages that I plan to use in this book because I think like the beige on here matches this beige really well. So I kind of want to keep it. I didn't want to get something too vintage that was going to clash with that. Then I also have this Butterflies and Caterpillars book. This one, here's the ISBN in case somebody wants to pause the video and look it up. I probably have more than one copy of this book. I'm not going to lie because when I discovered it, I think I went on eBay and bought like several copies of it because I absolutely love it. And it's got these beautiful illustrations here. Look at that, guys. So that one is probably one I'm going to tear out and put in this junk journal. But it's got a lot of butterfly illustrations here that just melt my heart. And yeah, I absolutely love it. So this one is written by or put together by Joseph Mucha, illustrated by, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name. So hopefully I'm going to zoom this here, put it up close so in case somebody needs to pause the camera, the video, they will be able to look it up. And this one was copyright. It looks like it was reprinted in 1984. It was copyright 1973 in Artia, Prague, and it was reprinted in 84, 85, 86, and 1987. Yeah, so really beautiful. So I plan to use some of the illustrations in this book as book pages in my... So what I would do is, like, I would probably either tear this book apart or rip pages out and then piece them together with other pieces of paper or washi tape. And then, of course, I've collected so many of these Edith Holden, The Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady, and I'm hoping to finally break open some of these book pages here and incorporate them into my junk journal just for decorations, really, just because it's so beautiful to admire it. And I don't think there's an ISBN on this one. Let me see. Maybe. I guess. Yeah, there's two. So this one is not the hardcover. This is the paperback. So there is some ISBN there for the hardcover and the paperback right there. But these are really popular in the junk journal and crafting community. So if you just put this name and Edith Holden, stuff's going to pop right up. But this is one of my most coveted vintage books that I um, have collected because they're super popular in the junk journal world and they are just so beautiful. And this one's copyright 1977, and for in England. So yeah, I just and I love that the pages are matte; they're not shiny. So anyway, I'll be pulling some beautiful pages out of here and try to incorporate into there. So anyway, I hope you guys are inspired. I hope you guys like this kind of video. If you do, let me know. This is just like a work in progress. I've always talking and like showing you all the hauls that I do for junk journaling, but I kind of wanted to show you what I'm actually working on, and maybe some to like some craft with me videos that I might be putting together in the near future as I you know work through putting together this junk journal. I know I've had some viewers ask for like live videos of me putting one together. Lives are kind of hard for me only because I don't like have a lot of like quiet time um during the day. Like I work, and so I usually just have very small pockets of crafting, and so lives are really hard, but I will do my best to try and um keep you guys along for this junk journal as it comes together and comes to life. So I hope you guys are inspired. Until the next post, I remain Christina La Crafty. Bye.